Okay, now let's look at this question C. After the claims of the tax equity investors, the remaining tax benefits, cash flows allocated to another type of equity, so-called cash equity. If the tax equity investors invest $240 million and EDP owns all the cash equity class, what is EDPR's anticipated IRR? Okay, and again, what you're going to see here is relatively small because I got all these numbers in it, but again, there's an Excel file that you can look at the same time. And so let's sort of look at that, and I'll make the major points that we need to do on doing this. Well, basically, if we look at this, what we see is what I've got is still, okay, key things here is total. What I've got is from what we did before, tax equity cash flows, okay? The total cash flows, as we said before, are EBITDA, okay, minus taxes plus production tax credit. So what I've done is here is I've taken that, taxes, and EBITDA, and just summed them all together here, okay? Then I take the tax equity investors, and the equity investors basically get the free cash, total cash flows, minus what the tax equity investors, and that's what the sponsors equity cash flows look like going forth. They put in $147 million, and in return receive these cash flows. Now again, these cash flows are just the difference between, okay, this minus this is equal to that. All right, so that's what that's what's left over, and if we do that, we estimate an internal rate of return for them of 9.42%. So the IRR here okay, 9.42%. Okay, so that winds up sort of saying, well, they're going to get 5.6%. The tax equity investors, the IRR for the cash equity part, if EDP retains everything, winds up with 9.42% on that. Okay, so now let's go on to part D, question D that I had.